an investigation needs to be carried out, it's going to be tested against these 4 pillars. It's going to be tested against these 4 principles. Hello my lovely people, welcome to the channel. Thank you for your regular support of this channel. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking, thank you for dropping your comment. And if you're new to the channel, just watch this video to the end and look into our homepage to see several other videos that might be of benefit to you. So on today's video, we're going to be talking about code of practice for nurses and midwives. This code of practice is what upholds the nursing and midwifery profession. If you are planning to come to the UK, if you're planning to migrate to the UK, this should be at the back of your fingertips. Like, you should be able to remember every day, every time, and it should be, it should constantly reflect in your practice. The code is consists of 4 main pillars or 4 main principles that should guide you in your nursing and midwifery practice. So the 4 codes are: prioritize people. You need to prioritize people. Practice effectively. That's the second one. The third one is preserve safety. And the fourth one is promote professionalism and trust. So if you've been looking at, different situations whereby maybe people lose their pain or they have issues and they need to be investigated, any accusation or any investigation made would be made under these 4 codes of practice. So anything that you do, just always vet it in your mind that how is this promoting professionalism, how is it preserving safety, how am I practicing effectively with this, and how am I prioritizing people. Prioritizing people comes first. So for everyone that needs to receive your care, you should prioritize them. Promote their privacy. Put them first in anything that you do. For example, we heard of a nurse that was making out with her patient and the patient suffered an heart attack. At that point, she was meant to prioritize the patient. Like, even if it means that you're going to be disgraced, you're going to face the court of law, or you are going to do anything, you need to prioritize the health. But she didn't do so. She waited to drag the trousers of the patient up. The patient was grasping. You didn't start CPR. You just called you had to call a colleague to come, and the colleague would actually narrate the whole event. In the next series of videos, I'm going to be talking about reflective practice. This means you are making account of what has happened and you're reflecting on it, on how to, improve your practice. You need to uphold them with dignity and trust. You need to be kind to them. You need to offer compassion. You need to empathize, provide care, and listen to them. When you are doing something and someone says, stop, my dear, stop. For example, whenever I want to do a vaginal examination, I ask my women, I'm like, I'm going to be doing a vaginal examination for you. So when I start, this might be a little bit painful for you. If you want me to stop at any time, kindly tell me. When you tell me to stop, I might not bring out my hand out immediately, but if you want me to bring out my hand out, just indicate. So you have to seek consent and follow whatever they say. So even if you are giving the patient an advice, for example, a patient is meant to use a drug, let's say antibiotics, you talk to the patient about this is the importance of you having antibiotics, and the patient says no, you document, you call maybe a senior midwife or the registrar to come and speak to the patient just to confirm that you have totally highlighted the pros and cons. And if the person says no, no one can force. You cannot force the patient. So that is when you are prioritizing people. You're prioritizing their choice and are giving them informed consent for them to know what's the pros and cons of what their action might be leading to. This is the same reason why you cannot hold anybody in the hospital against their will. If a patient says, I'm going home, even though she's bleeding, even if everything is happening, after you've, explained to the patient, you've reported to the appropriate colleagues for them to, see the patient. And if this patient insists that this is what would be done, you document. You need to prioritize people in everything you do. Same reason why as Africans you can't pray for your patients. Everybody has their religion. Everybody has, don't just go there. Don't just go there. Just stop. You need to promote their own, what they want, what their preferences are. And if someone says, I'm non-binary, don't address me as he or she, stick to it. If someone says, this is my sex, stick to it. If someone says, oh, this is what I'm doing, stick to it. Prioritizing people. I know I've spent a lot of time explaining that to you so that it just sinks in your head. So the next thing that we're talking about is practice effectively. You have the obligation to do your trainings, to make sure your revalidation is up to date, to make sure you are protected by, they call it indemnity. You are protected against indemnity. That's registering with the RCM, registering with the RCN, or registering with the Unison. So just make sure you cover your back, you practice effectively, document appropriately, document in clear terms, document as it is happening, document. In nursing, we say, if it wasn't documented, it was never done. So if it wasn't documented, it was never done. I know sometimes the pressure is a lot on you. Just try to practice effectively. Promote safety, especially for, I'm saying this especially for internationally trained midwives. When you're on the ward, the workload is a lot, and you think it is not safe, call your maternity coordinator. Call them, let them know. Do not prove superpower. You've not brought extra power from Africa. Promote safety. If there's anything that might lead to, safety issues, you need to flag it. For example, the temperature on the ward, if there's a spillage, if there's a leakage, if there's anything, maybe your colleague did not, or your colleague failed to uphold the standard. For example, maybe your colleague, even though they are black, they forgot to give antibiotics, or they did not practice effectively. It is your duty to report that. I know you might be saying, oh, James, she's my friend. No, you don't need to cover up for anybody. You need to report it in an appropriate way, not in a way that you will be indicting them. You're not indicting them. If it's something that they can make corrections of, call them to make corrections of and do it immediately. But if it's something that you need to report as a result of, promoting the safety of that patient, you need to promote their safety. Remember the first code, prioritize people. So you're prioritizing the service users first before yourself. The last one is promote professionalism and trust. Professionalism and trust, you need to be professional at all times. The way you speak to your colleagues, the way you speak to other MDT personnel, you need to uphold the reputation of your profession at all times. I was reading an article where a lady was struck off from the midwifery register because she was actually taking blood samples and sending it via a login at work, rather than going to the GP, to get appointments and to follow the due process. Do you know why they actually struck her off? They said she did not uphold professionalism and trust. That is, if the member of the public are aware that you are using your power, you're using your post, your positions to kind of jump the queue, then it's going to put the profession, the nursing profession or the midwifery profession in a state of distrust or in a querisome state. That's the way they just put it in. So professionalism at all time. This doesn't also limit you to when you are on your uniform. Even if you are outside your uniform, you still need to promote professionalism, because if anything happens, maybe you involve yourself in fraud. Okay, I think I saw a video whereby someone was investigated because she failed to pay train ticket fee. It wasn't like she even purposely did not pay it. It was kind of a mismatch kind of thing. So please and please and please, if you're practicing in the UK, make sure to follow this code of practice. Make sure to follow it and keep it. Let it be at your fingertips. Remember it at all times, because this is what is going to help you. And if there is any investigation, if an investigation needs to be carried out, it's going to be tested against these 4 pillars. It's going to be tested against these 4 principles. So prioritize patients, practice effectively, preserve safety, and promote professionalism and trust. If this video was helpful to you, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so that you receive the notification whenever I drop a new video, then watch other videos on the channel, and till we meet again in the next video. Bye for now.